Of personal protective equipment for frontline health workers has at times reached crisis point. One former government procurement advisor has told the BBC the whole sourcing process was like something out of the Wild West. And today we've learnt that the emergency shipment that made the headlines a few weeks ago has been rejected because it's substandard. Here's our health editor, Hugh Pym.
A new plane load of personal protective equipment arrives today at Doncaster Airport. 22 tonnes and 5 million items from China. It'll soon be on its way to the NHS and social care front line. Supplies of PPE, as it's known, have run short at times. The government has promised more deliveries.
The security of that supply can prove very challenging, but we are making progress there. And in fact, today I can report that a very large consignment of PPE is due to arrive in the UK tomorrow.
In fact, that Turkish consignment of PPE arrived 4 days later, one of a series of deliveries of gowns for intensive care staff. Now it's emerged they're still in a warehouse, and at least some have not matched up to the required specifications. The Turkish supplier said it was in shock and had done its job with all the required certificates. It's not clear exactly what happened. One expert told me the normal UK procurement process might have been rushed.
Clearly corners are being cut because we're in the Wild West for PPE supply. So the normal processes and ways of doing things just aren't effective at the moment. So people are having to try and cut corners, frankly.
In a letter last week, Department of Health officials told hospitals in England the global demand for PPE and other supplies is unprecedented. Therefore, it's vital that the UK government procures items nationally rather than individual NHS organisations compete with each other for the same supplies.
I know that our members have raised this question of a letter telling them to simply rely on the national supply. And I think the reaction is, and it'll be compounded by the story of the Turkish supplies, well, actually, if we're managing to access what we want locally, then we're going to stay and continue to do that.
PPE shortages are still reported in some parts of the NHS, including this GP surgery. They say they haven't had enough from central NHS supplies and have had to go to builders' merchants and DIY stores.
We've managed a few weeks ago to source a lot of supplies from builders' merchants, but those supplies have dried up, so we're worried about ongoing supply issues. We're not going to have enough to last the summer and certainly not into the winter months. So we do think it's something that needs to be addressed quite urgently.
A government spokesperson said they were working night and day to source PPE internationally and domestically, and more orders were lined up and expected from suppliers. Hugh Pym, BBC News.